Hey guys, ladies, actually, this is Arlen of Awakens Fonda, and I am coming on today to talk to you guys, or to you ladies. Guys, you can watch too. This is initial. I'm speaking more from a woman's perspective and to the ladies, but obviously men can learn something from this as well. So today I want to talk about something really important to me. And you'll probably hear me talk about it a lot more. I've kind of always known that this is something that I will talk about. I just didn't know how. And I think 2020 had me working through some things in my life and in myself to kind of push me a little further into this. But we're going to be talking about going from an independent woman to a feminine woman. And being that I've always, I grew up independent woman, not like I really wanted to. It was just more or less what was programmed into me. It was the lack of having a father and just having a mother in my life, and a mother who was left to herself even as a child. And so she developed these skills, these self-serving skills, these self-sufficient skills. And so I have been more or less programmed in a more masculine uh, energy, right? So this it's taken me some time to come to where I am with this, and through my experience spiritually speaking, I think I grasped onto this concept in my 20s. What I'm about to talk about, I grasped onto the difference of a man and a woman in some way in my 20s. And I embodied that, and I was learning from it. However, I hadn't mastered enough things in myself, and so things ended up going very south, and it was very traumatizing. Me trying to be the kind of woman that I wanted to be in this relationship that just wasn't. It just didn't. I didn't know how to activate it. I knew the idea, but I didn't know how to activate or initiate this full femininity. So from there, it went on to more really toxic relationships, and of course, this is what I'm magnetizing in because I didn't know any better about my energy and how it works, how polarities work, how energy works, and the dynamic of relationship. So therefore, I lived out a few what would you call it? What's the word? Gosh, unrequited love scenarios. So always yearning for that love and that hero's gamos, that sacred union. I've always yearned for that, but I did not know how to attain it or how to what to do in order to get my needs met. Right? So in essence, I was still attracting all these men that I had to service, and plus there was this I didn't have the willingness at that point or the understanding to let go of a lot of my control and my trauma. That's my trauma, is control and independence, because that's where I'm okay, taking care of everything, right? But for a feminine energy, this is exhausting. And if you're feminine watching right now, you're probably going, oh my God, yes, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. And then we get mad. What do? We get mad, we react, and then we blame. So I want to talk about these things so we can get past this, and I can help you guys in some way. If it's just moral support by speaking about it, then that's what I want to do. But it's taken me a long time to get to where I am. So with that said, I just kind of want to give, I guess a little understanding. This whole concept I'm talking about is based off science, really, the science of energy. So we're talking about a man being a devoted leader, right, and a woman being a more submissive player in the positive and negative. And when I say submissive, that's going to trigger the hell out of some people, I know. But if you can think of it more as the woman just following the lead, like allowing the woman being the creator, the man being the builder, right? But in order for, these are the things a lot of women I talk to, like myself, want in a man. Why can't a man be like this? I need a strong man. I need a man that can lead and do all these things for me, right? And I'm tired. But then you get a man, and then you're like, well, why is this dynamic not, like, why is it always that are you allowing him to do those things, right? have you begun the process of allowing people to do things for you? Or you know what I mean? So learning how to get more into your feminine essence, right? Into your feminine energy. Now we know we both, all of us have the masculine and the feminine within us. But I'm talking about on an outside physical plane. When you think about partnership and creation and how relationship, we're talking about partnership here. I'm not talking about your friends or any of that. I'm talking about in partnership. If you wish to have a dynamic as such, right, then you have to learn how to embody that energy yourself so that you will magnetize in that leader, right? That devoted man who understands himself, who loves himself, who loves you and is devoted to you and you only. And those men are out there. I think, I've seen it myself. But sometimes there's a lot to uncover, and there's a lot of things to uncover in ourselves so that we can allow men in like this. So the first things first is to first of all, embody your joy, right? Being more joyful, being that creative, being that flower, right? Being more childlike, being in a more innocent place emotionally and physically, to truly embodying that. I think for us, like as women, we get so tied up in having to fix everything. I mean, when you've been independent, that's what you've done. You've taken on the role of the man. So anytime a man comes in your life, if a real man comes in your life, you're going to counter it because you don't know any better. You're going to neutralize, and this is how the coaching I've been doing recently with actual men who are devoted men and are in these relationships. It's a neutralizer, and it makes sense because if we're like a battery, right? A woman being the negative, the man being the positive charge, it takes the two charges in order to spark the energy. So if you want a relationship that sparks, that is like attractive, that has power and generates energy, you got to learn how to work with your energy. And the men have to do their work, right? They can't just they have to meet our needs. They have to take that position and be willing to do it. And that's their position. But I'm not going to talk about the men today. I want to talk to women, because we're going to begin to allow men to do things. So if a man comes in and you're just always resisting, like telling them what to do or giving them the answer to the problems, right? Like, men like to solve problems. That's left brain thinking. That's the yang. That's the active energy, right? Women are the more like creators. The more just we are we magnetize, right? We pull them in, and they're the doers. But when we get confused in ourselves, we're trying to do all the work, and it's exhausting, and we're not allowing the men to be the men. Okay, and that's a big tough pill to swallow when you actually start working on it. Because I mean, for myself, I've looked back at things like I've said or done to a man in my life, and I'm like, why would I do that? Like, why would I say that? Why would, and it's just, it's so like, it's like dominating the man, right? And it's not right. And it doesn't even feel good as a woman when you know what it feels like to be in your feminine energy. And I'll tell you, I experienced this one time, the last actual dating relationship I had, which was 3 years ago, like really, like actually, like this one man made me actually, I don't know what it was, but I do know what it was. But at the time, I remember being in his presence. I couldn't get away from the fact that I felt like I was allowed to be fully feminine in his presence. Whether it be him opening the door, whether it be him asking me questions about myself and speaking, so he was very, I could speak to him. He let me express. He let me be me, at least for the short period of time that we had this experience. The way he stood close to me, the way he spoke so well of me, like talked me up in front of people. Like, he just did things, I don't even know how to explain it. He just made me feel so feminine. And, I'll never forget it. Even his voice called me. But these are the things you experience when you've met a devoted man, you know? And so anyway, so I guess what I want to say today is I want to talk about allowing ourselves to receive. Because sometimes I was really confused for a couple years where I thought people aren't receiving me, but the thing is I was pushing that. I had it flipped. I had it flipped, even though I thought I had it. I thought I was in my feminine, but I really wasn't. I was just pushing things and pushing things, and we're not called to push. We're called to be magnets. And if to obtain what you are actually like wanting to manifest, you have to get your energy. You have to get your energy in check. And so ways to do this are things like practice with, you know, maybe it's just men you hang out with, maybe, you know, or friends even, but the masculine, it's focusing on the masculine energies in your life, like allowing them to help you with things, maybe to allow yourself to receive gifts. For me, it's really hard to receive gifts because I felt like somebody wanted something from me if they gave me a gift. So allowing yourself to receive and joy, childlike. When people give you gifts, typically they just want to make you, they just want that, they want to feel good. A man wants to feel that response if he got you something, right? Whatever it might be. Now, if it's something manipulative and you know, like it's like they want something from you, then that's a different story. But I'm talking about you should be at this point where you're aware of the people in your lives, and you should always be honest about where you are. If it's just friendship, it's just friendship. I'm always very upfront about that, especially with men. But you know, allowing, that was a big deal for me, so I know it's probably going to be a big deal for some of you. It's just to receive and learn how to embody it, like with a joy, with like an innocence. Like when a kid gets a gift, it's like, thanks man, like wow, oh my god, you know, like whatever, you just receive, even big, small, whatever it is. Just allow yourself to do those sorts of things. That in essence, it creates a vulnerability. And to be vulnerable is new to a woman who's always been independent. To allow yourself to be vulnerable, to talk about your feelings, to let the walls down. I used to have my walls so high. I remember a friend of mine told me one time, she's like, girl, she's like, your walls are so high. When it was a realization, I didn't even know I created such like the walls of Jericho around me. I didn't even know. I was just so traumatized from, you know, life and my experiences and the programs, you know, and, you know, I was offering myself to men who were not willing also. They were not devoted men. I wanted to create them into devoted men, but they were not devoted men. You'll know the difference. Your energy will know. It's like that one man I know, he's just, whether he is now, I don't know where he is now in life, but I know he was just, it's because of the way his energy read into me, it was, I knew who he was. And there's a lot of them out there, you know. But everybody is that we're all going through things, and we're all you know, it's like a battery charge, like I said. You can repel, you can neutralize, and you can generate. And I want to generate. I know a lot of you guys want to generate the energy. So it's how to embody your full polarity, so that when you come in contact with a full embodied, devoted man, you charge each other. It's just this amazing charge. We call that, like I said, Heros Gamos, sacred union. That's it. And it's out there. But we got to start, you got to start playing with it, and I encourage you to start playing with that energy in your relationships, like actually actively in your relationships. Now, like I said, be wary of, you know, you don't want to, like, you want to make sure you're not taking advantage of somebody, like, you know what I mean? You don't want to mix signals with somebody, but allowing yourself to be in that full embodied energy. For myself, 2021, I plan on taking this all the way. In my business and everything I do, I'm going to bring my femininity with me. You know, we can make up new rules too. That's the exciting part as a woman, is we're creative and we get to make up new rules, and we don't need to push, force, make things happen. We get to just be us and create. And trust me, the right things will magnetize in. I just know it. For myself, I know it. And I don't know. I woke up this morning even with just such grief in my heart over some losses I've had this year, and over particular things pertaining to kind of this subject, actually. And you know how I created such resistance, and my traumas, sometimes our traumas can cause us to react, and to react harshly because we're trying to protect this ego, right? And so, you know, I don't know, but my clarity came back today as I actually, a good book, and I want to recommend this to you ladies. Zach, I want to say his last name is Rode, and I will put it in the description box. He's a coach that I have been working with this past month. He's a man, devoted man, and he wrote a book about what I think is called The Irresistible Woman or something, or how to be, I don't know, but I'll put it all in the description box. But it's fantastic for if you're really ready to dig in, and you may get triggered, you know, because he could be very blunt in the way he speaks, but the way he speaks is very truthful, and when you're ready to hear it, you're ready to hear it, and I highly recommend it, because it's gonna help you in your partnerships if you're already in them. It's gonna help you like level up in it, and help you become that woman for your man. It'll make him want to be that man, you know. And if not, if he's just not there, then maybe it'll help you let him go so you can find the right one. Or if you're just single like me, and you know, I've been celibate for 3 years now. I have definitely like you know, opened myself to be around men and stuff, but nothing has struck me, and definitely not struck me in that way. I've been really just determined to work on myself, and open myself up. And so this year is going to be all about that for me, just opening myself up fully feminine in everything I do, everything I touch. May it be feminine and magnetizing, and that's it. So may we all create that energy so that we give space and room for men to be men, because they deserve to be men. And you're going to hear me on this channel a lot speaking about men and women, because, and I'm going to put this here very clear, plain and simple. I'm a woman, and I'm heterosexual, and I want a man. And there's polarity is polarity. It's sun, moon, it's yin yang. This is nothing new under the sun. This is science, and this is spirit. So science and spirit, same thing. We're talking about heroes game ups. And so I'm going to be speaking in this language, and I'm not going to change it for anybody because they're gay or they're offended or anything. I'm not going to deal with any of that. I'm going to keep it straight up the way it is. And this is something that needs to be addressed in this lifetime, and where we are in the here and now. And so you're going to hear me addressing it a lot more, because there's divinity and power in a man and a woman coming together. It's creation. It is creation. And this isn't leaving anybody out. Choose your polarity. There's a lot of men, if you choose, there are women out there that choose to be more in their masculine, and they like feminine men, you know, and maybe they're comfortable like that, and that's what you could choose, and that's what you like, and it works for you, and that's beautiful. But that's not why I'm here. And that's not why a lot of us are here. And so I'm going to talk about it freely. It's not old fashioned. This is reality. So that's that. And I'm just going to be very blunt and clear about that. So I won't be bending to make somebody else feel comfortable. It's time to get a little uncomfortable. That's what causes and stirs healing, and exactly a lot of the time what we need and we want. So that's that. I'm going to leave it there. I think that I pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover in this one. I guess this could kind of be an introduction. because I do want to talk about it more. I love you guys. I wish you well. I love you ladies. I need to start saying that. Love you feminines. All right. And I wish you well out there. And I wish you everything you deserve. All right. As within, so without, as above, so below. Love is truly all that is. So be it. And wholeness vibrations, right? Master both polarities within yourself. That way you can know and understand your man just as much. All right. Peace.